And welcome to the Business Day. I'm Andrea Chisholm. Putting money in the bank can be risky business, but in more cases than not, depositors often overlook those risks. The threat is not immediate, but it wouldn't take much to plunge the financial system into chaos. TVJ's Andrew Ladley now joins me to talk about the issue. Andrew, should I be worried about my savings?
Well, and Andrea, for now, you can rest easy. There's a whole agency in place to protect at least part of your deposit. Now, it's called the Jamaica Deposit Insurance Corporation, JDIC. Now, the main job of the entity is to ensure that some of the deposit you put in any bank is protected in the event that the bank fails. Now, that scenario might sound a little familiar to you. That's because it happened in the mid-1990s. You remember the financial crisis popularly known as the savings and loans crisis, right? Where we witnessed the collapse of dozens of financial institutions like the Eagle Financial Group, Workers Bank, Century National Bank, Mutual Life, and the hard times others, including the National Commercial Bank, NCB, faced. Now, that was over 2 decades ago, and it occurred at a time when the JDIC was not yet established. In fact, it was out of that collapse that the JDIC was formed. Fast forward to 2020, every deposit up to a maximum of $600,000 is insured with the JDIC. But as you'll hear in this report, there's much more to the issue of deposit insurance. Every depositor is covered. In the 1990s, most of the money came from government coffers. But things have changed. Chief Executive Officer at the JDIC, Antoinette McKain, says the agency is working to ensure public funds aren't the main source for payouts.
We are looking to ensure that in the event there's another financial sector crisis, the call on public funds, that is the call on the taxpayer, is an absolute last resort, and if indeed there is a requirement for call on the public purse, there is a means to repay that.
So where does the insurance money comes from?
The Deposit Insurance Act, under which we're mandated, allows us to collect premiums from financial institutions. Those are the deposit-taking financial institutions where customers have their deposits. So annually we collect premiums from the banks. Those premiums are built up over time and through investments as well. So we get investment income as well over the many years.
She says the investment income so far stands at $23 billion and continues to grow since there's been no need to cash in the funds since its establishment in 1998. And although depositors can get as much as $600,000, regional comparison shows that Jamaica is behind.
I would say that ours coverage right now is the lowest among the other countries in the Caribbean region that have deposit insurance, but we're working on that.
But increasing the payout could mean higher premiums. Ms. McKain said that's not the position the corporation wishes to take.
We're working assiduously to ensure that we can make that increase without increasing the premiums that banks pay, because we don't really want, banks pay premiums, and they are commercial entities. They will put their costs, they will allocate their costs accordingly, So right now that's not the intention to increase premiums.
Now, the JDIC says it conducts regular reviews to determine whether the payout per depositor should increase, whether the payout should increase rather. Now, the agency is also a member of the International Association of Deposit Insurers, which guides how those decisions are made. But just in case you want to know how you can immediately get more coverage, well, you may already be entitled to it. For example, if you have more than one deposit account, each of those accounts entitles you to an additional $600,000 of insurance coverage. Now, there's also a legislation to be tabled in Parliament in December of this year, which will allow the JDIC to take a much more proactive approach. That is, the agency will establish a fund to help deposit-taking institutions from falling into financial woes. So that's something to look out for, Andrea.
Definitely something to watch, Andrew Ladley. Thank you so much.